Luke 6:37 through 42. Let's take a listen.
Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. He also told them this parable. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into a pit? The student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me take the speck out of your eye," when you yourself fail to see the plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye.
Amen. Okay, the open it section. The question reads, from what teacher or wise person have you learned the most so far? I could name a specific person or even a few people actually, but I like to say that life has and continues to be my best teacher. Someone can tell you what could happen or tell you how you should do things, but there is nothing like learning from the actual experience. Your parents may tell you how they did it or how they think it should be done, but your situation is a little different and you are a little different and the parties involved are just a little different. Not to say that their lessons or advice isn't correct or helpful, but God has a way of using your life experiences and using the people around you to help you learn a good lesson, whether you know it in the moment or not. Now the explored section. First question reads, what specific promises did Jesus make? Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Number 2. How do a student and his or her teacher relate? The student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher. Number 3. What is a person who failed to see their own shortcomings? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me take the speck out of your eye," when you yourself failed to see the plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Next, the get it section. First question reads, when is it easy to judge others? It's easy to judge others when you can't see yourself in their shoes, or you think too quickly that someone is beneath you. You don't know their story or why they are in a certain situation. We can judge people based on the decisions they make in life, but in their reality, it's unhealed trauma and coping mechanisms. We can judge people based on their looks, but in their reality, they don't have the luxury to get the things they want because they're struggling to keep the things that they need. We judge people on their status, but in their reality, they weren't born with a silver spoon or left with a good fortune. It's easy to judge when no one is holding the mirror to you to strip you down of all your walls you built to cover your flaws. Maybe that's why God didn't clothe us when He first created us, so that no one would be too proud, because all of us have flaws, and there isn't anything to hide behind. Number 2, why is it important not to judge or condemn others? Some people like to call it karma, but God said, "For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." So treat people how you want to be treated. Not only that, you may be up now, but one day you may not be. So don't trample the people who you deem to be beneath you. You or someone you know worked hard and or sacrificed for you to be where you are. So don't judge the struggle. Give, and it will be given to you in great measure. For those who are struggling or not, if you're on the other side of this and you find it in your heart to forgive, God will forgive you. And those who judge you with means to be judged themselves are hypocrites. Just tell them, I think you have a speck there too, my friend. Number 3. What do judging, condemning, forgiving, and giving have in common? What you give is what you get. If you judge, you will be judged. If you forgive, you will be forgiven. God is generous, gracious, and compassionate, so of course He wants to give you your reward 10 times over. But you have to earn it. You have to earn it with your heart. A heavy heart judges, condemns, and is unforgiving. A gracious heart is forgiving because the burden weighs too much for all parties involved, and there is no love in a grudge. A compassionate heart doesn't judge because it's too busy being empathetic. A generous heart doesn't condemn because sometimes we all need another chance to get it right. Lastly, the Apply It section. Question reads, in what relationship in your life do you want to show more grace, mercy, and giving? I would say in all of my relationships, but most importantly, I believe my husband deserves it the most. He sacrifices for his family and constantly gives to others. I am blessed and grateful to have a spouse, a lifelong partner in love, and an amazing father to our children. With him being the one I chose to be with for the rest of my life, more grace, mercy, and giving is the least I can do for the man of my life. It makes the downs easier to process and get through together. It always allows us to keep God in the middle to continue to bless our union. Amen. Amen. This concludes episode 28 of Wisdom Wednesday. I love you and hope you have a blessed and wonderful week.